Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a mushroom build. So I was scrolling Pinterest looking for inspiration when I came across this cute little mushroom house. It was like a watercolor, so not real life, sadly, but I kind of fell in love with it and I wanted to like build a mushroom house. But the big circle was, I don't know, it just like wasn't the vibe for me, but I still went with it. I ended up doing one of the big circular rooms, a medium and a small. And this does become a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. I also kind of struggled with the roof, not the shape so much, but like the coloring. I couldn't decide like what vibe I wanted to go with, because in my head I was like, one of the red mushrooms with white dots on it. That was what was in my head. But that is a little difficult to do in The Sims, at least without the tool mod. I think with the tool mod it would be a lot easier, but I don't have the tool mod. So initially I was like, okay, maybe I'll go for kind of like a more brownish color mood. And I went with the thatched roofs, and I thought it looked more like mushrooms you would see in real life. However, after a little bit, I did this on stream, which is why you see that follower count. But so if you want to not miss a build live and put your input into it, then follow me on Twitch. The link is down below. I don't have a set schedule right now, but I'm trying to. So I also kind of struggled with like, what vibes do I want? I knew I didn't want super modern, so I ended up using a lot from cottage living, because kind of cottagey vibes is what I was thinking. And trying to get flooring under circular rooms is so hard, because if you just drag it, you can see like it left that like blank space where the curve was. So I had to move the entire room. Well, I didn't have to, but at the time I thought I did. I had to move the entire room and then lay it down and then go back in and fix it. But actually you just need to delete the flooring inside the room, and that works. And it doesn't show up on the inside. I thought it would show up on the inside, which is why I was doing the quarter tile placements, but you really didn't need to. But I end up going with this roof color with a red, kind of a brown, and a green. I don't know if there's any green mushrooms. I'm sure there are somewhere, but I thought it looked cute, and I didn't want like 3 bright red roofs. But back to, I kind of went for like a cottagey vibe. I used a lot of cottage living, and you can see me like reworking this. The shape of this patio just does not ever really vibe with me. I end up fixing it with landscaping and kind of like hiding the harsh edges, but it never, the patio itself never looks great in my opinion. So I do go for a more cottagey vibe, a lot of cottage living, and I wanted this to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I was gonna put like a kid's bedroom in this big circle along with a bathroom, and I couldn't really make it work. Well, my first thought was just like a little half bath, And then I was like, oh, but if I put a bedroom in here, that will give me a long straight wall to build the kitchen off of. And it will make it easier to build a kitchen. So I was like, okay, I need the bathroom to maybe be a little bit bigger. And I was playing around with this floor plan, and I think I left it all in. And I struggled. I was like, a tiny gap doesn't matter, because I can just like put a curtain or a plant there and hide it. But then I was like, but if the Sims think it's open to the whole room, everyone's gonna have to leave this entire building for someone to go pee. And I did not want that, because that sounds like a nightmare. So I was playing around with like, okay, what if I just have a wall come outside a little bit and I can make it like a feature? But nothing really ended up working, so I abandoned it and I decided to just stick with a bedroom in there, which does not end up being the bedroom. You can see me still trying to like play, okay, well, what if it's like a ensuite open, like no door ensuite? And then I was like, why is that one piece of wall thinking it's outside? So I gave up, because circular rooms are the worst. You can still see me like trying to play around with like trying to figure out a way. Like, okay, what if I just put it in the middle of the whole building? But I do give up. And I did this on stream, so you can kind of see me like talking through some of my ideas. And I think I do the bathroom first. I do windows, which placing windows was a pain. So I cut it out because it took me a while. And then I do the kitchen. I decide with the kitchen, I kind of like take ode to the red mushroom, and I do a red kitchen. I was gonna do this red and white, but after setting up the entire kitchen, I thought the white was a little too harsh. So I do white upper cabinets, but I do the wooden bench top. Call it a bench top, it's a counter. And I really like how this kitchen came out. There's not much decor in this house, so it should be able to run on like most anyone's computer. The only thing is I kind of went a little heavy-handed in the nursery, because in the last builds I've built with a nursery, I've wanted to use these like the little like wipe items and like diaper items, but I never had any shelving in my nurseries to put it on. I haven't had enough room. So in this one, I went for it. I put shelves up and I filled them up with little knickknacks and little like wipe and the baby comb and a keepsake box. And I really like how the nursery came out. I'm doing the living room, and this is the only thing that's maybe not like the most little cottagey, is I used a modern TV. I didn't use one of the older looking TVs, just because I really like the idea of this piece, which is from Tiny Living. It is a TV, bookshelf, and a radio in one. And I thought that would be really helpful, because this is kind of a small build. It's not really, but it is kind of. So I decided to use it. And I wanted the freestanding one because I thought I was going to put it up against a curved wall. And the one that sticks to the wall just wouldn't fit, I don't think. And you can see the wallpaper I chose for in here. It's the same one I did on the outside of all three buildings. to me, it just kind of gives that like mushroom stem look. I put in some paintings from Magic Realm World pack. I'm completely blanking on pack names right now. That were kind of like plant forward, and it kind of filled in the area. Like I said, this isn't like a super decorated house like some things I've done, but I really do like how it came out. The rug, this rug I'm not completely sold on yet. I had that gray one first and I was like, this does not go. So I changed it to another like woven one from Laundry Day to see if that kind of helped it, because they were kind of the same texture even if they weren't the same color, and it did some, but I'm not completely sold on it. I never used these mason jar lights, and I thought this is the perfect house to use them in, a kind of like little cottagey house. Of course, they're not very bright, so I ended up adding wall lights to the entire room just to help brighten up some of the darker corners. And you might be thinking, well, if this isn't a bedroom, then what is it? I'm like, I decided to make it an office, which I struggled with. Shocker, I know. But I went with the paranormal stuff desk in the red and white tone to, you know, ode to the mushroom. And I struggled with layout in this room. I tried it in the middle of the curve. I tried it in the middle of the room. I tried it up against the flat wall. I tried it up under the double window. And honestly, none of it really felt right with just the desk in here. So I decided to put it under, like, put it in the middle of the curved wall and start working just around that. And I filled out that straight wall corner with bookshelves to make it look a little like a built-in library, and decided to add in a reading nook or reading chairs to the double window side, which is the farthest from the door. I start with 2, but I take it down to 1 because it felt a little crowded to have 3 chairs so close together. I do put a couple paintings in here. This one I feel like really kind of goes with the vibe of the house, kind of just like an outdoor field. And I put the fairy garden because it has mushrooms on the patio. What am I doing? I'm placing decorations, a magic ball, crystal ball. I do turn the carpet, which I don't know if I vibe with again, but I think it's the best placement I could do for this, like, what, quarter of a circle. I was gonna use that painting, but I decided it was kind of too bright for this room, so I used the Pride painting that came in a free update. And then, so I was going to use it in the bedroom. And then I was like, wait, no, I need to use the mushroom wallpaper because, duh. So a bright purple painting, I just didn't think kind of fit in with the vibe. And now you're like, you had a nursery. Where are you putting the nursery? I was going to, at this point, I did not plan for 2 bedrooms. I was just going to have one big primary bedroom. But I quickly ran out of like what to put in here. Because I was like, if you live here by yourself, you don't really need like another office or anything. So I decided to split this room into 2 half circles, and you have the primary on this side which has the mushroom wallpaper and kind of a green, like a green bed and a lot of natural light wood tones, and is very minimally dressed. I decided to use like the Tiffany like lamps because I was looking at another inspiration picture and I really wanted to find something to put Tiffany lamps in. And then this side I make into a nursery. I start with the crib on the straight wall, but I quickly decide against that just because it's a one tile thing, so I can fit it up against the curved wall if I point it out into the room really easily, and then it gives me room to put the changing table and shelves onto the flat wall. I stepped away from my computer and I did a little play area in here just because I hadn't thought about this before, so I didn't really leave room in the main house, in the main living area, to put a little play area. So I put a little like playtime mat down in the nursery. I put down a shelf from Growing Together and then a couple base game shelves that kind of matched the same wood tone, kind of. And I do put down one of the baby rugs to like place your infant down on. And this is where I go kind of like ham with placing things on the shelves. I put wipes, I put diapers, I put the gift basket, I put a plant and a toy, and like I said, the keepsake box, which took me forever to find, mind you, because I'm like, it's a memory box. That's what I call it, like in real life. So I'm like, memory box, searching memory box. I'm finally just like searching through storage tagged for Growing Together, and I finally find it, and it's called a keepsake box. Like, no. I do change the wallpaper in here to the purple penguins, so it's kind of like green and purple themed, which is, I think, very gender neutral. So you could move in, you could have like any gender child and it would work. I do remember trash cans and a mailbox, which I applaud myself because I almost forgot them. And I just put a picnic table and a barbecue out on the patio, and then I start on my landscaping, and you can see where I kind of just like hide the harsh corners and edges of the patio with plants. Now I could have just used terrain paint to paint on a patio, but I kind of liked this. I'm not sure. I don't know what I was thinking. Terrain paint would have been 10 times easier. And like I said, this was kind of supposed to be like a cottage. If I did this again, I would definitely make the plants a little more overgrown and like in your face, because except for this one area, it's all very like maintained and trimmed. But I had already figured out how to work with the patio, so I didn't want to go back and change that. So I decided to add a little like tufts of grass around the area, and then I found these mushrooms and I was like, I have to add the mushrooms. Like, I mean, I have to. It's a mushroom build. So we have little mushroom growths, that sounds weird, around the lot, and just kind of like vibing with it. And I'm putting final touches with the trees, making sure I didn't miss anything in the house this time. But I think we should open up the game and take a look at this house. Let's do it. Okay, we are in game now, and here is the build in all its glory. Like I said, there's things I would do different. Like, I wanted to make the walls taller, but when you make the walls taller, it just looks more like mushrooms, but it looks weird because there's no big traditional windows. So you have these like tiny windows and tiny doors, and it just looks weird. So I stuck with medium wall height because short was just too short. So popping into this first mushroom, you have the living room with a tiny coffee table that's actually supposed to be an end table. It came with the infant update, but it really works because it's really low set for a coffee table, especially a one tile circle. And somehow my floors got rotated. What? My floors got deleted. I truly don't know what happened. All of my floors got deleted. Is it like that on the gallery? Yes. I don't know what happened to my floors. They were there when I uploaded it, but you know, circle rooms, they're glitchy at best. Nothing lines up now. Do I need to rotate them the other way? I don't know. This is the best it's gonna get. Alright, but we have the living room, and then we come into the office, which I think turned out cute. And then back out into the main living area, you have the dining table and the high chair, and then you come into the kitchen where I have a little tiny baby mat, which some might say that's a weird spot, but it's really kind of the only spot, unless I put it behind the couch, and I feel like that's an even weirder spot. So like I said, I changed the counter to this back one to be the same as the islands, and then I just went with the white cabinets instead. And then when you come out, you come onto the patio, which is fairly simple. It just has a picnic table and a barbecue. And then you come up to two doors. The one on the right is the nursery, and I really kind of like how these shelves came out. Like I said, I really wanted to use them, and I did remember to put a trash can with the changing table. On the other side, you have the primary bedroom, which is again fairly simple, but I've done more in-depth primary bedrooms, and I kind of like the vibe of a really simple. This is not one of those like cluttered cottage houses that I feel like is really the vibe, but this is a very clean, minimal cottage house. Then over in the small one, you have the bathroom, which is fairly simple. I went with a dual vanity. This should be functioning, and I did the university shower instead of trying to fit in a box shower in here. I didn't think that would work well. Then, like I said, we have little mushrooms growing around the yard, and that's the house. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank y'all for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see y'all all next time. Bye!